Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, mothers, fathers, daughters, sons, brothers and sisters. Welcome to the Virtual Touring Car Cup Season number 2, Round number 2 at the Chinese Classic, that is Zhuhai International Circuit. My name is Chris Buxton and I'll be your commentator throughout this evening's race. You're watching the Pro Lobby stream. Over on McRae Williams' Twitch channel is where you'll find the AM lobby, and there's plenty of people streaming their point of views as well. Let's just have a quick look at what we have got on the paperwork tonight. So this is the Canada. We did Snetterton last time out, and what a race we had. That was absolutely amazing set of races we had from our Pro, well, indeed from both of our Pro and AM lobbies. That is how the Pro Championship standings currently sit, with our two Scotsmen, Andy Gillen and Roy Grassi, both in the top three, very, very close between themselves. Aaron Large coming home with a wonderful podium in race 1. David Moll right up there, snapping on their heels. Jurka Sterber in 5th, Jason Powell 6th, Brendan Van Heeden in 7th, Jay Daniels 8th, Chris Callahan 9th, and Conan Dunn rounding out the top 10. Now the GoBobby.co, I'll try that again. GoBobby.uk trophy is for anyone that before this season that did not have a podium. So this series, this championship runs alongside the main championship, and you can hear the engines are starting to roar as the qualifying session for race number 1 is underway. 20 drivers are joining us. We'll get down to trackside very shortly. So anyone that did not have a podium coming into this Pro season, so anyone that was promoted from the AM lobby and any newcomers into the Pro Series are eligible for this. So Chris Callahan currently leads the way, with Colin Dunn second, Mark Werrell. Big shout out to Mark, who is racing tonight having had an operation on his knee. So his left knee is currently the size of a balloon, and he's using a hand operated brake. Absolutely incredible stuff from Mark Werrell. So I'm very glad to have him on board. However, if things do become too uncomfortable for him, he is very welcome to join me in the commentary box. Kiki Mack in 4th position, our AM championship. Our AM champion from last season. And Josh Quincy in 5th, Lewis Kent 6th, Quinton Chevrolet 7th, JP McKinley in 8th, Matt Webb 9th, and Finley Swarbrick rounding out the top 10 there. They are the streamers. Ryan Reese isn't with us. I believe there's, I think everybody else is from the Pro side, and the AM streamers you can see down below. Right then, let's head trackside, shall we? Who has joined us this time around? There's Kiki Mack, one of the Celtic Bromance pair. He currently stays in the pits. There's Matt Webb. Out on track now. Zhuhai is one of these tracks that isn't super well known, but it's very. It's a bit divisive, this one. I'm a really big fan of it. I love Zhuhai. And also, we're going to have some very, very, very wet conditions later on. As in, we're going to have the second qualifying session. So the qualifying session for race 3 is going to be in heavy and light rain. That's going to lead to storm come race time. So that's going to be interesting. Josh Quincy, there he is in the orange and grey Renault. Oh, big button. No, that's Jason Powell. Already Josh Quincy getting the tail of the BMW test slides. He's coming out of the final turn. Now, JP McKinley seems to have reverted back to his game attack after Kinky 1. Don't know why. That's that is a quirk of Steam, I think. There is Mark Werrell. As mentioned, he's running on a hand-operated brake pedal after the operation he had on his knee. So fair play to you, Mark, for your determination to take part. Oops, a little bit deep there into turn 4. Beg your pardon, that's turn 7. I beg your pardon, I'm actually forgetting the corner numbers of this track. It's been a while since it's been a long while since I've commentated here. Stu Neal is with us, one of the Ambition Racing BMWs, as is Alex Jameson. Glad to have him on board. Let's say back with us. Disastrous by his standards. You know, the double champion, the current Pro champion. And sadly, the opening round did not go well for Alex. Roy Grassi was really involved in some very hot fighting towards the sharper end, as was David Moll. Good to see him back on board with the full send squad. There we go. We always see Andy Gillone, seeing a few gamer tags popping up rather than real names for some reason. Andy Gillone always sideways is where we tend to find him, and he jumps up to the top. That's not a surprise. The Ambition Racing BMW's up front, a 40.2. My word, that is a stonking time on the board. We're starting to see some time to go on the board. Brenda Van Heeden is with us. Now, I hosted a wet practice session before this session got underway, and Brenda was right up there with a 49, low 49 in the stormy conditions. Of course, Alex Jameson is the first one to get an under 140 with a 39.966. Jason Powell, there he is in the grey and orange Renault with a 40.9. He was pretty godly as well in the wet conditions. Aaron Large in the banana split flavoured BMW, currently in second position with a 41.474. Who haven't we? There's the kinky one, JP McKinley, currently on a 42.5, 42.6 from Mark Werrell. Chris Callahan, the pink accented full send Renault, with a 43.367 on the board for Mr. Callahan. And we see the return of Nick Bailey, the Scuzzle. Oops, getting a little bit squiddly in the 29 Renault, coming down towards turn 7, I think. There's two hairpins that are identical in nature. Yeah, that's turn 7. He's just gone through there. There is Kiki Mack, the AM champion. Yet to get a time on the board, along with Josh Quincy. The BMW directly centre shots. Somebody's just moved up the field. Who was it? Oh dear, that's not gone well. Down at turn 11. Oh dear. Get that one back under control. Jörg Sterber yet to get a time on the board as well. We've lost a driver in the proceedings for tonight. And Toby Owen, our illustrious leader, is with us. We're sadly down a few drivers for this event. Real life gets in the way. But a number of people were actually due to be doing the real thing this weekend. So I'm not entirely surprised we don't have full lobbies each and every week. Jameson's back out there, though, not wanting to lose any further time. Where is he? He's coming to the end of his outlap. As it looked like Matt Webb, I think that was, just put a 41.8 on the board. Let's ride on board with the inhuman South African. Andy Gillone has improved his time with a 40.2. And yeah, there's an odd quirk in this track. Quirks in Project Cars never. Where you'll suddenly see pit lane markers in the middle of the start finish line, but heavy brakes at the 100 metre mark, down to second gear, sideways through turn 1. Well, turns 1 and 2 is a double right-hander. Now turn 3. Wow, Jameson is running very, very loose. Over the right-hand side, down through the gearbox, turn 4, over the apex, and then turn 5 for the right-hander. Don't wander too far onto the AstroTurf, you'll invalidate the lap. Now turn 6. Fairly irrelevant right-hander, then pick the right point, about 100 metres, down through the gearbox. Now, does he do first or second? He goes second there for turn 7. Hard on the gas. Again, back into the infield. Turn 8 is fairly non-existent then. Shortly after that 100 metre board, as Jay Daniels has now joined the race, joined the session, for turn 9. And up through the gears, turn 10. You can do that almost flat out in the dry. You must lift if you're going through there in the wet, which of course everybody will be in race number 3. Down through the gears once again for turn 11. A little bit far from the apex there, but it could be Jameson's choice. Then turn 12, which is basically the second part of that turn. Turn 13, this kink here with a pit lane entrance on the right hand side. And then chuck it in for the final turn, turn 14. Does he improve? Now, Aaron Large certainly handled the 40.5 on the board. No improvement for Alex Jameson that time around. Jay Daniels is with us. That was our 20th driver. Glad to have Jay on board. Welcome to those joining us in the chat. Welcome to those joining post-event. You are always welcome. Let's have a quick rundown of our... Whoops, this Jay's got a little bit deep there in turn 7. So Jameson's pushing... Oh, wow, that was very deep there at turn 4. But has managed to keep it just about the straight and narrow. So Jameson leads Andrex, which is Andy Gillone. Does he improve his time? Not on that occasion. He was being chased by one of the full send cars, I think. So it's Ambition 1 and 2 at the moment with Aaron Large in the banana split flavoured car. 140.5 on the board, does not improve. That time around, Roy Grassi coming out of the pits. Also being chased by, I can't quite see which one of the full send. There, so it's Ambition 1, 2 and 4 at the moment. Great time there from Stu Neal, 140.882 for 4th position. Now, it was rumoured that this track would kind of favour the BMWs a little bit. With the Beamers being 1, 2 and 4, all of them being Ambition Racing. May well believe that particular statement, but Jason Powell represents... Well, he's... Oh, Josh Quincy, I've just seen jumped up, and there's another BMW in the top 4. So that's a 40.573 on the board for Josh Quincy, the number 12. Oh, lots of slidey ways coming out of turn 4. So Jason Powell is indeed our lead Renault at the moment. 6th position, 140.936. Half a second. So Jameson has actually improved his time with a 39.712 now. Absolutely unbelievably quick. But then he always is. He was having a lot of technical trouble last week. Hopefully those have been resolved. Where is Jay Daniels? Being chased by quite a number of people. There's Jurka Sterber, the white and purple accident car. Chris Callahan, the pink wing mirrors at the back of that particular shot. So where are we? It looks like we're coming into turn 9. Yes, we are. And still being chased. Oh, that's gone wrong for Jay Daniels. Just touched the grass on the outside. Is that David Moll that's just gone past him? Along with Josh Quincy, along with Chris Callahan. Where is David Moll? No, it was not David Moll. Not 100% sure who that was. Jameson is back in the pits. Gillone is not. Andy Gillone is going through sideways as usual through turn 10. He is chasing. That's Toby Owen, I believe, ahead of him. Yep. Oh, Toby's gone deep. Deep into turn 11. There's a lot of understeer in the Renault. But has wrestled that one round. Does that Chris Callahan? Well, we know Chris Callahan's got some company there. Yeah, Sterber directly ahead. Jay Daniels, well, is still behind, just lagging a little bit. Jay does have a time on the board of 147.594. It's fair to say that is not entirely representative of what he can do. Where's Andy Gillone? Andy's had a problem somewhere, I think. It didn't look like he was attacking that corner as quickly as I thought, but that just could be a deception of the camera angle. Does he improve? He does not. I think he had a problem on the last part of that lap. Oh, look how... I just realised how close Aaron Large is. Again, a lot of slidey ways going through the final turn of turn 14. For Aaron, does he improve? 140.559, 200ths of a second behind Josh Quincy. Not that time around. Roy Grassi right behind him. Where's Roy? There he is in 10th position with a 41.199. That, I think, yeah, that's David Moll directly behind him. I'm glad we're not getting too much of the stuttering issue this time around. Where's Jay Daniels? He's on the back part of the course, so coming through the penultimate turn 13 now into 14. Oh, the Beeman just misbehaving all the way through the turn. Does he improve? 47.594. He's a 45.282. Gets out of Jason Powell's way. Jason Powell now at 6th place. Still our lead Renault. 40.936. 1.2 seconds behind the mighty Jameson. Even Andy Gillone is struggling to get within half a second of his teammate, the current championship leader. Once again, just chucking it in. I love watching the BMWs, particularly how Andy Gillone just manages to throw the car in and glide it seemingly effortlessly through the turns and still be blindingly quick with it. No improvement on his already very, very fast time for Andy Gillone as he goes on his final time lap. What about Josh Quincy? That is turn 11 and 12. He's just come through, being chased by one of... is that Stu Neal right behind? Yes, it is. I knew it was one of the Ambition cars. As Alex Jameson has come back out on circuit again. There's Josh. There he is. Final turn, down towards the line. 140.539. Does he improve? No, not on this occasion. Less than 30 seconds before the checkered flag falls, and Andy Gillone has returned to the pits. He can do no better on this occasion. 140.241. And Stu Neal trying to get the car to slide through turn 2. Where is Aaron Large? There he is. Being chased by Roy Grassi, who is in 10th position. And the checker flag is out. So currently Jameson from Gillone, from Quincy, from Large, from Neal. Jason Powell still our lead Renault driver in the 23 car. The Track and Beyond squad, that's coming down in towards turn 4 and 5. So he's at the beginning of his lap. There's Jay Daniels behind him, who's improved his time to a 44.2. Brendan Van Heeden, 40.9 on the board for him. He's, wow, he's, what, 7 thousandths of a second behind Jason Powell. Interesting to see Brendan, down that 5 as a pole sitter last week at Snetterton. And then just a hundredth of a second between Chris Callahan and David Moll. So Moll remains in 9th place. There is Aaron Large, actually. He just came out of the pit lane, but I think he just crossed the pit lane, crossed the finish line at that point, along with Jameson, who didn't improve his time any further. The only man into the 39s. There's Stu Neal. He's just crossed the line. Any improvement remains in 5th position. Jason Powell heading down towards the final turn. 140.936. Whoa, Jay Daniels is off under the dust, but does manage to keep it under the wall. No improvement for Jason Powell. And that's the qualifying session done. Right then, so it's Alex Jameson and Andy Gillone, 2 Ambition Racing cars on the front row. Then it is Josh Quincy for Falcon and Aaron Large for E11. Then Stu Neal and Jason Powell taking on row 3 for Ambition and Track and Beyond. Brendan Van Heeden and Quentin Chauvetot take on row 4. David Moll and Roy Grassi. Row 5. JP McKinley and Jurka Sterber. Row 6. Chris Callahan. Wow, Jurka Sterber, a race winner from last week as well. Down in 12th. Chris Callahan and Matt Webb on row 13. Mark Werrell and Toby Owen. Row 14. Colin Dunn and Kiki Mack on row number 9. And Nick Bailey and Jay Daniels round out the back of the field. All right then, place your bets. It is going to be a dry race for races 1 and 2. And then the rain begins. So not many people seem to have practiced the wet conditions, which is going to prove very catastrophic because along that start-finish straight in particular, the puddles become horrendously bad. So expect there to be quite a few lakes and rivers causing a lot of trouble as we head towards the race itself. But this is race number 1. So dry conditions, 15 minutes. For those unfamiliar with the format, it is 3 races, 2 qualifying sessions. We've just had qualifying for race number 1. Second race is random grid, and then we have the second qualifying session, which will, in this in this week's race will be in the wet for the final race of the night. Now, we had a lot of trouble in race number 1 last time out, Snetterton into what's actually called Wilson. It's not called Montreal anymore, as I was updated post-race. So we're hoping for better this time around. Right then, here we go. Race number 1. Oh no, someone's dropped out already. Jay Daniels is already lagging. It's time to wind them up and let them go. Who is going to be bravest on the race and who is going to go? Wow, that's a stonking start from a BMW further down the road. The Ambition 3. My goodness, Stu Nielsen, an absolute stormer of a start. Heading up alongside Aaron Large coming into turn 1. Jameson leads Gillone. Aaron Large has managed to fend off the advantage of Stu Neal coming through turn 2. Down towards 3s. Anyone had any major issues? Not yet. It would seem. There is Quintin Chauvetot, who was the black BMW who had an absolutely stormy start. Oh no, that's Stu Neal that's gone very, very deep. There he is, trying to rejoin the track in a safe manner before they get through turn 5. That's Stu now down to 8th place. Oh no, we've lost another already. That's a great shame. Not 100% sure who it is that's gone. That's deep into... Oh no, that's someone gone. That's Quintin Chauvetot. What a shame. After a stormy start, he's now fallen down to 9th place, but it's Gillone and Jameson up front. Jameson leads the way. Gillone chasing hard. Then Aaron Large once again. An excellent start. Sees him in 3rd place. Bit of a breather space to Brendan Van Heeden, he's had an excellent start. Starting down in row 6, I think it was. Now the lead Renault. Well, what on earth happened to Jason Powell? He was the lead Renault. There he is down in 10th place. Plenty of time, though, for our drivers to do something about their positions as we see a big move from McKinley. JP McKinley trying to improve on his position. That's Chris Callahan. He's just gone past with the pink ring mirrors. But up front, it's no such trouble for Jameson from Gillone. Well, Andy Gillone. Wow, that was, I think it was David Moll that was chancing his arm on the grass. Stu Neal, there is back up into 5th place. He was 8th not that long ago. Here comes Roy Grassi on the inside of David Moll. They touch. Oh, that sent Stu Neal off the road. But they managed to get through it right on board with the Jurka Sturber. That 3-way battle coming down towards turn 3. Neal in the BMW just leads this particular pack. Roy Grassi now on the inside gives David Moll a bit of a tap. But they manage to survive as they come through turn 4 and 5. Look at this. Absolutely nose to tail. Oh no, McKinley. JP McKinley has fallen to the tail of the field along with Kiki Mack. Oh no. The Celtic Bromance pair are down quite some distance off the back of the field. Colin Dunn is at the back of the pack now, but look at that. They're still very heavily condensed. You can see the proximity markers being the yellow triangles with the exclamation marks in, which in some instances means the car is missing. In this circumstance, it just means they are very, very close together. Now, Gillone does not need to make the pass to maintain the championship lead, because he'll want to. I mean, these two have crossed swords so many times in many, many different avenues. Aaron Large doing a brilliant job there in 3rd place. There you can see Brandon Van Heeden now has broken away from the pack behind. Stu Neal's got a lot of activity behind him. Roy Grassi, David Moll, Jurka Sturber, Jason Powell, Quintin Chauvetot, Mark Werrell now over to 11th place. Bearing in mind, as I said earlier, he's operating his brakes by hand. Oops, he's got a tiny bit wide coming through turn 14. Oh, as did, I think it was, that's Nick Bailey in the blue Renault a few cars back. Was wandering a little bit wide. Here comes a move, it looks like. Matt Webb being challenged by Colin Dunn, although Matt Webb having to go with Nick Bailey. They touch coming into turn 1. Oh dear, that's not gone well for either of them. Off into the dust. And through come the Celtic Bromance pair, I dare say. There's one of them. There's the other one. But sadly, McKinley was not close enough to capitalise. Oh, side by side for Gillone and for Jameson. Chris Callahan the first to get on the penalty board, but Gillone now trying to cut back underneath his teammate. Heading down towards turn 8. Gillone's just going to nudge into the lead, is he? No, not quite. Alex James is going to have the inside line coming into turn 9. Gillow trying to outbrake his South African stablemate. I didn't say compatriot then, that didn't work at all. And Jameson has managed to hang on to that, but Andy Gillow is on the warpath. Right behind them, Aaron Large, you can see the banana split flavoured BMW into turn 11 once again. Brendan Van Heeden has got Stu near the company, so actually Stu has broken away from Roy Grassi now. All three of the Ambition Racing BMWs in the top 5. Only the top 2 cars of any team will score points, so that's actually academic, but it's a great battle they're having nonetheless. On board with Andrex, which is his username is Andy Gillow, as Jameson really feels the need to go very, very defensive. Oh, I doubt that... well, Gillow's been forced to go the long way round, as Jameson does not want to let that, doesn't want to open the door on the inside line. Side by side, Gillow's nose into the lead just about before they get through turn 3. Now the Scotsman's going to have the inside line, forcing the South African to go deep. Oh, but that's a lot of apex for Andy Gillow. And that's allowed Jameson to get back into the lead. Is that going to be a slowdown warning for Andy Gillow? We will see. Further downfield, Stu Neal on the back of Brendan Van Heeden. That's a battle for 4th position. Brendan's now on the penalty board. Look right behind him. That's David Moll, Roy Grassi, Jason Powell and Jurka Sturber. So this battle that we were looking at earlier is now 4 cars deep. They're a couple of seconds ahead of Toby Owen behind. Toby Owen being hassled. There is Toby Owen being hassled by Mark Werrell and Chris Callahan. My word. Oh, David Moll's got a little bit deep going into turn 9. Now he's lost 2 positions to both Grassi and Powell. Coming through turn 10, heading down the hill towards turn 11. It could go absolutely any which direction. Brilliant racing here in the mid-pack for the Pro Lobby. Right behind them, Toby Owen trying to catch up, but he's dragging Mark Werrell and Chris Callahan went in. There is Mark Werrell right under the rear wing of Toby Owen as well. It's difficult to know where to look at the moment. Still Neal trying to do something. Let's have a quick look at penalties then. 3 seconds for Brendan Van Heeden, 2 for Chris Callahan, same for Kiki Mack, and 1 for Matt Webb. Oh, here we go. That's David Moll having a look on the inside, coming towards Roy Grassi. Jurka Sturber trying to get past Jason Powell coming into turn 1. And no such luck. Mark Werrell also having a look on the inside of Toby Owen. Oh, I couldn't quite tell if there was impact there. But Jason Powell has made a bit of a mistake. And that's allowed, if we get on board, actually if we get on the roof cam of, the bonnet cam actually looks higher weirdly, on Chris Callahan's car. This train is 6th to 12th pretty much. Oh, Toby Owens made a mistake. There goes Mark Werrell on the outside, heading down towards turn 6. He's got the move done. Oh, gives just enough space. And Toby Owen cannot come back at him. And that's Mark Werrell up into 10th place. Let's have a look at Stu Neal on the back of Brendan Van Heeden now. Maintaining the pressure for 4th place. Well, Stu Neal doesn't need to make the move to inherit that 4th place. He'll score individual drivers' championship points, but not team championship points. These two will manage that for Ambition. 3.3 seconds ahead of Aaron Large. You can see the white and yellow BMW behind them. These two having their own argument, as they tend to do, up front. Lovely roar of the BMW engine heading down over the line, and within hundredths of a second of each other, as they tend to be. Jameson isn't. Oh, and Sandy Gillow's got a tiny bit deep jive. Commentator cursed him. He won't forgive me for that. Into turn 1. But even still, Andy Gillow has certainly got the pace to keep up with Alex Jameson, which is no mean feat in itself. Further back, Stu Neal's got him ahead of Brendan Van Heeden. So Stu Neal has made the move for 4th position, more than likely into turn 1. Nicely done. If we look at Jurka Sturber now, this was a 4-way battle, but Jason Powell has fallen a couple of seconds behind them. And is actually not far off being hassled by Mark Werrell. Jurka Sturber on the back of David Moll and Roy Grassi, where he's been all race long so far. There's Powell, there's Werrell and Owen and Callahan. Roy Grassi doing a great job of defending against everybody in this bit. He's monstrously quick, in fairness. Oh, David Moll's gone for the lunge into turn 9 and can't quite get it done. Well defended by Roy Grassi. A good effort, though, from David Moll. Jurka Sturber there to pick up the pieces if it does all go wrong. There you can see at the bottom of the shot, Brendan Van Heeden and Stu Neal continue with their battle. Jameson and Gillow. Gillow's actually ahead of Jameson now as they head down towards the final turn. The Scotsman on the inside line. Jameson going to try and come back underneath him, but no. And Andy Gillow has parked that one on the apex. But now let's look on board with Jameson as he then jumps out from the slipstream already of his teammate over the line. Jameson noses into the lead, but Andy Gillon's going to be forced to the outside lines. He's going to try and cut back underneath. Bit of a tyre smoke from Alex Jameson. Is Andy Gillon going to cut back underneath him? It looks like it, but again, Andy Gillon's going to be forced to the outside line for the next significant braking zone. Come through turn 3, down towards 4. Awkward line for Jameson. And Andy Gillon had the momentum, is now nailed to the back. Evidently, he looks like he's pushing his teammate along there. Not quite, as you can see. Yet again, just Alex Jameson is just keeping himself to that defensive line. Andy Gillon trying to force the mistake. Again, tries to come back underneath Jameson. Now Gillon's in the lead. Can he get that one done before they get to the breakers over turn 9? Sweep through turn 8, and Aaron Large behind them has gained a little bit whilst this fight's gone on. Gillon is now in the lead, but can he complete the move properly? Yes, he does. Jameson slots in behind. What a great set of corners for these two. There is Aaron Large has definitely gained on the ambition pair. Jameson thinks about an inside line coming down towards turn 11. Oh, he's gone deep as a result, though. That's a rare mistake from the South African. He won't have lost an awful lot of time. He has managed to maintain that momentum. My word, what a great scrap going on there. Brandon Van Heeden has managed to keep up with Stu Neal. So the other South Africans still doing pretty well. They're behind Roy Grassi, David Moll and Jurka Sturber, continuing as they were when we last left them. Although David Moll looks like he's going to think about a manoeuvre on Roy Grassi. Backs out of it. Oh, Grassi's slow coming through the final turn, but David Moll doesn't slam into the back of Roy Grassi. He manages to keep that one going, but that costs him momentum. Then behind, Jason Powell, Mark Werrell, Toby Owen and Chris Callahan, all in that particular line. David Moll looks that's a tiny bit late. Maybe a bit of impact between the two. But he's going for it anyway now, committed to the inside line. If we get on board with Jurka Sturber, we'll see the battle unfold. But no, Roy Grassi has slotted back in front of the German. Brilliant fight for 6th position. Wow, there's injuries allowed when you're riding on board. On board with Toby Owen as we look at the battle for 9th place between Jason Powell, Mark Werrell and himself. Toby's a little bit off the back of these two. That's 6.5 tenths-ish into the braking zone for turn 7. They've given themselves a bit of breathing space between themselves. Chris Callahan behind. There goes David Moll again. Trying to get the move done on Roy Grassi. I'm trying to get the outside manoeuvre done into turn 9. Side by side still. Through turn 10. David Moll has maintained that momentum. Let's get on board with Jurka Sturber. He thinks they're on an inside line. Outside line, beg your pardon. Heading down towards turn 11. He can't get it done though. And still, David Moll remains behind Roy Grassi. What a great fight they are, but they are helping. Look at that. Jason Powell is gaining on them, and Jurka Sturber's trying to find a way through. Nowhere to go for Jurka Sturber, though. So evenly matched. And look further up front. It looks like... I wonder whether Brendan Van Heeden was trying to make the move on Stu Neal. We couldn't quite see it from there. And Toby Owen and Mark Werrell side by side as we come down the start-finish straight. Almost contact between the two. Roy Grassi and David Moll have finally swapped round with this side-by-side. Mark Werrell's just managed to fend off the advances of Toby Owen heading into turn 1. David Moll still on the inside line of Roy Grassi. Roy's gone a bit deep. Jurka trying to go through on the inside of turn 4. Can't get it done. side by side again. It's Jameson and Gillow for the lead of the race. These two have just been punching counterpunch all race long. Now this time it's Gillow on the inside line coming down in towards turn 9. Oh, and both of them very respectful of each other's space, but that gap behind them is is threatening to be less than 2 seconds. Gillow gets a decent drive, but a bit of a wiggle on the exit of turn 10. Jameson, is he going to banzai that one into 11? No, he's done it again. He's got a little bit deep. But the checker flag is about to fall. This race is absolutely flown by. It looks like it's advantage Gillow at the moment, unless there's penalties on the board for them. No, there's penalties throughout the field. Just watch the lead two come through the line. That's so deep for Jameson. No, my goodness, could that have been... No, there's no penalty there. They're going to be side by side coming over the line. But your winner for race number 1 by 0.2 of a second is Andy Gillow. Jameson 2. Aaron Large, another podium for him. Stu Neal does beat Brendan Van Heeden over the line, but look further behind. David Moll beats out Roy Grassi for 6th position. Jurgen Sterber in 7th with penalties. Mark Warrell inside the top 10. He takes 9th. Toby Owen 10th. Jason Powell 11th. Chris Callahan 12th. Colin Dunn in 13th. Quinty Jovito in 13th, I beg your pardon. Colin Dunn on track was ahead, but with penalties down to 14th. Kiki Mack, a disastrous race for Celtic Bromance, unfortunately, but he's demoted to 16th. Matt Webb inherits that one there as well. Kiki Mack still falling through the field. There's JP McKinney, he's going to take 16th, and sadly the tail end of the field is going to be Nick Bailey. My goodness me, what a finish, what a crazy, crazy race that has been. It tends to be, but not so much in the not so much in the crashing department or car surfing as we had this time around. So it's Andy Gillow, the only man in the 39, so these two have swapped round again. So it was Alex Jameson, the only man of the 39s in qualifying. This time that honour goes to Andy Gillow. Jameson 2, Aaron Large in 3rd, Stu Neal 4, Brendan Van Heeden in 5th, David Moll in 6th, Roy Grassi 7th, Jurgen Sterber 8th, Mark Merrill in 9th, and Toby Owen rounding out the top 10. That is, of course, before any kind of Stuart's intervention. Who has joined me in the... Well, we've got several people joining me in the box. Very glad to see. Let's have a chat to... Who should we chat to first? Now, the banana split flavoured car. Once again, Aaron Large. Glad to have a chat with you again, sir.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that. What result?
Well, I mean, you can't say you looked into that. That looked like it was pure pace. Okay, the two in front of you may have just about had a little bit on you, but you were there or thereabouts, and you were closing in on them as the checker flag came out.
Oh, yeah, their little battle, I think, just slowed them down a little bit, gave me a little bit of window, but I was too far to do anything. But, yeah, it's good laugh. My foot was absolutely welded the whole way through that.
Was as sort of practices happening, were you thinking, yeah, I could do well here, or is it a case of, take it as it comes?
I'll tell you what, I done some time trials, and I was trying to chase, I think it's Alex's Ghost, and yeah, world record setting pace, yes, that's hard to match.
Yeah, just a tad.
Yeah, they are quicker, but it's a good laugh trying to keep up.
But it's good to chat to the banana split flavoured car again. What are your thoughts towards the wet race?
Completely unknown at this moment, Chris.
I'm smiling because I'm in the commentary box. I've raced in the wet in Zhuhai. I know how hard it is, but fair play to you for giving it a try. Good luck for the remaining rounds. Thank you very much, Aaron Large.
Lovely. Cheers, Chris.
It's not often I get to say second place to Alex Jameson, but that is indeed what's happened tonight. Well, a bit of a better start for your night than last week, sir.
Yeah, slightly better. Still having some issues on my side. Unfortunately, the lag is still hanging around. Not as drastic as last week, but it is making it pretty challenging, specifically in the braking zones. But
wow, the fight I looked away only because there were so many battles going on through the field. Otherwise, I'd have been glued to Ambition Racing. Oh, you still with us, Alex? Oh dear, we may have lost the Jameson. That won't be good. Well, hopefully Alex will be able to rejoin us.
I am back. Sorry,
Oh, you are
lost
back.
Connection.
Well, I mean, I don't know how much of my last point you heard, but I would have been absolutely glued to you if it wasn't for that there was some incredible battles going on behind you. But, I mean, wow, you must have been loving that.
Yeah, it was absolutely fantastic. I mean, to be able to go wheel to wheel that long, especially in sim racing where there's always lag and delays involved, it does take tremendous skill from everyone just to keep it clean. And Andrew's absolutely fantastic at that. Is always giving a fair amount of racing room. So really enjoyable, even if you do come off second best.
Amen to that. And what about your thoughts towards the wet race tonight?
I've done very limited wet running, but I've heard it's a bit tricky out there, so we'll see. I'm imagining if the lag issues keep up and it's raining, it's going to be very, very tricky in the braking areas, but we'll see how we do.
Best of luck for that, and for the remainder of the season, thank you very much, Alex Jameson. Well, hello, my friends. Glad to have you back in the box. As always, a pleasure, Mr. Gillone. Wow, that was just incredible.
Oh, that's probably that's why I raced here. That was just the most fun, excellent racing. As you were saying before, it's like when you've got the amount of trust in somebody else because you're so closely matched, and you know you can go side by side. You know where you can brake later and not dive bomb and make contact, and you can go side by side through an entire lap if it needed to. It just makes it fantastic, awesome fun. To top it off with a win. To be honest, I wasn't really intending on challenging him. Looking at his qualifying time, I thought he was just going to disappear. But I thought if I stay in his back, in his draft, I might be able to get pulled along by him. And yeah, he was making a couple of little bit some funny lines through some of the corners, getting the braking maybe slightly wrong too late or so, but so I was able to capitalise on that, and just kind of go side by side. And again, I wasn't really intending on going past him, I was just kind of showing my nose, but when you did get past every now and again, and when you had that side by side racing, I said, it just doesn't get any better than that in my opinion. It was just top class for me.
No argument from me there at all. Right, wet race. What are we expecting? I know that race number 2 is dry, but even still, what are we expecting for race number 3?
Yeah, I've got to survive a random grid first. But I mean, it's clear that it is a BMW track, and the wet also favours BMW as well. And from a limited testing, qualifying is scarier than the actual storm. So it's heavy rain going to light rain, I think, in qualifying.
Yes.
But there's much bigger puddles in that session than there are in Storm, bizarrely enough. But hopefully there's more cars on track kind of push away some of the standing water, because for the BMWs it is absolutely deadly. The front-wheel drive cars can pretty much just keep the foot down. As long as the car is pointing in the right direction, it should be pretty safe. But the BMW just likes to let go very quickly. That last corner is very sketchy. There's a puddle that forms there, so I'm hoping that there's enough cars on track to kind of clear the path. But it could be very interesting. We've got the pace, but I think there's every chance that we could be sliding off all over the place. So it's no guarantee for sure. We'll see what happens.
Your penchant for drift-style cars from our other online antics that you and I have been involved with, surely this is just screaming into your inner drift god.
Yeah, I mean, that last corner was always fun. I was getting it a little bit wrong so far in race 1, getting a little bit wide, so I need to calm that down maybe a little bit. But again, we'll see what race 2 brings us, see where we get placed on the grid. Hopefully we'll get lucky tonight. I was at the back last week, so it'd be nice to be at the front half this time. But yeah, the wet, it's going to be slippery for sure.
Well, best of luck for the remaining rounds and for the rest of the season. Thank you very much. Andy Gillow.
Thank you.
Right then, we're just waiting for the lobby to get underway, and we will be right back with the action as soon as we head trackside. My goodness me. I think I say this after every race. I make no apologies for sounding like a broken record on this one, but it's going to be a good one. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. And there we go. Down to track we go. Right then. Who is going to enter where? So this is the random grid. For those unfamiliar with the setup, race number 2 will be in the dry, but there's no qualifying session, so it is a random grid. And some drivers hate it. I personally love it. Both as a driver, more as a commentator, because it's a very comfortable seat when things get very, very difficult. It's Quintin Chauvetot. Oh, Jason Powell on the front row. One of our Renault frontrunners. Right. That's going to be good fun. David Moll and Colin Dunn take on row 2. Roy Grassi and Nick Bailey. Oh, he was last over the line in race 1, but he's in row 3 this time around. JP McKinley and Mark Werrell take on row 4. Jay Daniels and Andy Gillone in row 5. So Andy in the middle of the pack rather than the back of it, which is where he ended up last week in the random grid race. Jurka Sturber and Stu Neal in row 6. Brendan Van Heeden and Josh Quincy take on row 7. Chris Callahan and Ryan Reese has joined us this time. Glad to see Ryan back. He was particularly unhappy with how things went down last week, but glad to see that he's rejoined us. Celtic Bromance certainly could do with his abilities. Jameson is in row number 9 alongside Aaron Large. Wow, 2 of our pole sitters down there in row 9. Toby Owen and Kiki Mack take on row 10. Matt Webb right at the back. I think Matt Webb got really dealt a bad hand last week in the random grid as well for Snetterton. Right then, here we go. Race number 2 again is 15 minutes. Let's see how the cards fall this time around. It is time to wind them up and let them go. Who is going to be bravest on the brakes, and what's the BMWs absolutely fly? You always have a storming start, and I think that's Gillone. Oh, that's problem Brad Brendan Van Heeden. They got a bit of a tap to send him off the track. Chauvetot leads, Powell second, David Moll in third. That is indeed Andy Gillone. That's flown up the road from 10th place up into 4th. What an absolutely storming start for the Scotsman. Grassi 5, Jay Daniels in 6th, Colin Dunn down into 7th place, being chased hard by McKinley. Oh, Jurka Sturber and Josh Quincy side by side. That's Nick Bailey bouncing off of. I think that's Mark Werrell he's bouncing off of. Oh my days. That is indeed Mark Werrell, but Mark has held it. Oh no, trouble further back. Who was that that's gone off the ropes? Nick Bailey. Oh no, that's Alex Jameson he's caught. So Nick Bailey, I think, was bouncing off of Mark Werrell. Oh, Brendan Van Heeden has been caught in trouble again. Oh my days. Up front, Chauvetot just had a bad run coming out of turn 9. That's Jason Powell has done a brilliant manoeuvre on the inside coming through turn. Look at this lot. Let's ride on board with Jurka Sturber. Well, actually, no, let's jump further up front. David Moll is on the inside line of this 3 wide coming down in towards turn 11. Oh, that's Andy Gillone and Quintin Chauvetot on poleman. Let's come together. That's going to cost Andy Gillone. Well, it's cost both of them time. But Jason Powell now leads from David Moll. Great effort there for David Moll. Could be seeking a podium this time out. Track and Beyond leads full stand. Leads, I'm not 100% sure Roy Grass's team name. Or Jay Daniels side by side with Andy Gillone coming out of the final turn. Colin Dunn right behind. And Andy Gillone has managed to slot ahead of Jay Daniels heading down towards turn 1. There you can see Quintin Chauvetot. He's lost that spot to Colin Dunn. There's Jurka Sturber. Oh no, that's Gillone. He's gone too deep into turn 1. And he's now down to 8th position. Jay Daniels right ahead of him. Still struggling. Right behind Stu Neal and Aaron Larch. Chris Callahan. Mark Werrell in 12th. As usual, it's difficult for me to know where to look. Side by side, it's Akajin, which is David Moll's username. alongside Jason Powell. Roy Grassi in the driver's seat, in a great spectator seat, I should say, as Brendan Van Heeden has come into the pits for damage. Unfortunately, we're already on board with Roy Grassi, the top three, very, very close together. Jakob Sterber has just overtaken Colin Dunn for 4th place. Here's Andy Gillone now back up into 5th, and sadly that is the end of Brendan Van Heeden's race. Oh, look at that from Gillone, trying to do an outside line move on Colin Dunn. He's gone ahead of the track and beyond Renault and manages to slot ahead of him into turn 10. That was a lovely move from the Ambition Racing BMW. I thought David Moore was gone a little bit too deep into turn 11, but I think it's just a deceptive camera angle. The top 3 within half a second, or near enough, within 6/10 at least, down towards the final turn. Right behind him, Jakob Sterber's got a big old angry pack right behind him. Look at that lot. Then you've got another big pack that's behind Chris Callahan. Mark Well leads that particular pack. He's got a second between himself and Josh Quincy, who's got Alex Jameson on his inside. Big move for the South African on the inside of turn 14. Matt Webb in 15th. Then it is again Kiki and McKinley having a bad run for Kelsey Bromance. Toby Owens towards the back of the field. There's Kiki Mack and there is Nick Bailey. Top 3 once again, very, very close. I know there's lots of shuffling further down the field, but that is so close between the Renaults up front. Gillone has managed to make his way into 4th position. There he is, you can see in the background of the shot, but look at Roy Grassi. Under the rear wing of David Moll, he opts not to go for the big move, coming down into turn 7. Bit of a locker from Powell. Is this an opportunity for David Moll to try and make the move? David Moll didn't quite get the drive he needs. Roy Grassi getting the slipstream off of Jason Powell on the run up towards turn 9. Who's going to be greatest on the brakes this time? No, Grassi doesn't go for it. Powell still leads Moll and leads Grassi. Of course, whilst they fight, there's Gillone, you can see in the background. He's got 10.5 minutes to close in on this top 3. But look at this brilliant racing. We saw this from Gillone and from Jameson last time around. Just wonderful close racing going on. There is Ryan Rees. So wanted to sort of see how he was doing. We didn't see him race 1. That's sadly the Celtic Bromance trio all in short order. Tobio right behind. There's a huge move there for JP McKinley. I don't think that's gone very well, as that's someone off the road. Oh no, it was Jay Daniels. I think he got caught out by that. I think he got a tap on the side. That may well go to the steers, but again, the top 3 very, very close together. Grassi thinks about a move, but that one gets slammed in his face by David Moll, who takes the inside line on Jason Powell into turn 1. Side by side through 2. Heavy on the gas, heading down towards turn 3. Jason Powell's had the run he needs to try and maintain the lead through 4. Through turn 3. Now down into races over turn 4. Jason Powell does indeed make that one stick, as we've lost Quintin Chauvetot from the race. One of the full send cars is now out of the race. Great shame for Quintin. Our pole man is he's now out of the race. As Josh Quincy and Mark Werrell have an argument for 10th position. Someone I think has spun at the tail end of that particular pack, as there's Ryan Rees trying to make a move. Does make a move on Matt Webb. I think it was Matt that may have made the mistake I was referring to. Mark Werrell now in 12th position as Alex Jameson. Well, next to no one can leave Alex Jameson behind them at the best of time, let alone when you're having to use a handbrake instead of a foot brake. On the inside line, that's Callahan and Josh Quincy having an argument for 9th position. There's Aaron Large, who's getting a bit too close to the grass there. Down towards turn 11. Side by side, Alex Jameson on the inside of Chris Callahan takes that 10th place spot. And now the proximity marker, as you can see, is coming up for Andy Gillone. He's catching up with the top 4. Roy Grassi now on the inside line, heading down towards turn 1. He's going to try and get the inside on David Moll. In the background of the shot, looks like Aaron Large is having an argument with Colin Dunn for 7th place, who indeed is having an argument for 7th position, and wins out on that one. Oh, Quintin disconnected. So that's what we saw you disappear. That's a great shame. Quintin Whisper Red, as he's otherwise known as, on board with Gillone now, right in this mixture. Fastest sector 1 for the Ambition Racing BMW. Down towards turn 7. Mole on the inside line. Roy Grassi now up to second position, but David Mole trying to get that one back. Can't quite get it done yet, but now Gillone's stuck. As the two runners side by side, he's having a bit of fun there, look. Side by side still, Grassi and Mole for second position. Grassi still currently holds that one, but Mole is not wanting to let that one go. Jason Powell trying to get away from the pack. Matt Webb is the first one on the penalty board. The second half the race for that to happen, in fairness. So fair play to everybody for that one. Oh, David Mole slides on the inside line going towards turn 11. But Gillone's going to try and get alongside Grassi as well, and does so. Andy Gillone follows David Mole. Roy Grassi now down into fourth position. Is Andy Gillone going to try and get alongside David Mole getting into the final turn? Yes, he does. Oh, side by side, well driven from both Full Send and Ambition Racing. Let's get on board with Roy Grassi now. There's Jason Powell. He's got himself a bit of a breathing space, but Andy Gillone in two corners has managed to make up two positions now, up into second position. David Mole tries to attack back, but the BMW having none of that, getting very quickly on the exit of turn 2. He has his sights very much firmly set on Jason Powell further up the road. David Mole now defending more against Roy Grassi than he is attacking against Andy Gillone. There's Alice Jameson fighting, well, once again, two of our podium sitters from race 1 are together again. Aaron Large in 7th position with Alex Jameson hot on his heels. Right behind them, my word, that's Josh Quincy, Colin Dunn, Chris Callahan and Mark Werrell. Mark right in this mixture. He's got a great run but could not have the room. Oh, Chris Callahan's gone very deep, hits his own teammate. Oh, and then bounces off Colin Dunn as well. There's a great opportunity for Mark Werrell. Could he get the pair of them? 3 wide coming down to out turn 7. He has indeed. He's got both of them. Mark Werrell now up to 10th place, but can't defend in both directions. Returns to the racing line. Chris Callahan's going to have to back out of that. And Mark Werrell now on the back of Colin Dunn. What a great run for Mark Werrell. But whilst all that was going on, sadly the lead has changed. Andy Jameson now mixing up the Ambition Racing names. Andy Gillone has managed to overtake Jason Powell for the lead of the race. I suspect that was in the braking zone down towards turn 11. Already has got himself a little bit of breathing space between the 3 Renaults. So the 3 Renaults still are having an argument for who's going to have top honours. 5 minutes to go, well, under 5 minutes to go now until the checkered flag falls. Jason Powell getting in the slipstream of Andy Gillone, heading down towards turn 1. David Mole banzais on the inside of Jason Powell and tries to get on the inside of Gillone, but Gillone's gone off. What he helped off, I don't entirely know. We didn't see, but there may have been contact between himself and Jason Powell that gives the lead of the race back to the orange and grey Renault. Roy Grassi back in second. David Mole now third. Oh, but that's David Powell. He's gone way too deep into turn 4. Andy Gillone would not be happy about that. And David Mole was briefly in the lead, but Roy Grassi now has that honour. Jason Powell, oh, that looks deep again for the Track and Beyond Renault. Does manage to keep it on the black stuff. There's Gillone trying to close that pack down again. Jurka Sturber is now up to 5th place. There's Stu Neal in the 6th place. Aaron Lars 7. Alex Jameson still in 8. Colin Dunn and Mark Werrell still having an argument over what is 9th position now. Chris Callahan's right behind them. Toby Owen. Hang on. They've lost one. Josh Quincy. Oh, that's a huge amount of damage on the number 12 car. Down into 17th place. Oh dear, oh dear. Callahan on the back of Mark Werrell now for 10th place. Looks like Callahan's going to have the run. Mark goes towards the inside line, defending the run into turn 11. Chris Callahan may have had the run on him, but he's not making it easy on him at all. Nicely defended from the commentating genius that is Mark Werrell. Aaron Large continuing to chase Stu Neal. Andy Gillone, 3 minutes to go until the checkered flag falls. Grassi from Mole, from Powell. Powell's gone. Oh, Powell's out of control. And he hits both of the Renaults. No, Jason Powell was all sideways. Amazingly, it's only Powell that suffered. David Mole and Roy Grassi have somehow managed to avoid complete disaster. Andy Gillone says, thank you very much. I'll have that lead back again. Moll second, Grassy third, Sturber now up to fourth. Wow, Jason Powell is... Oh no, he's out of the running! I think this is more for... Unless he's had some kind of technical problem, which would explain why he's not able to move. Jason Powell, disaster, strikes him again. We have had this so often from Jason Powell. He has the pace, but doesn't have the luck. But look at Andy Gillone, 1.6 seconds in the lead now. But look at this. Moll, Grassy, Sturber, and Neil all very, very close together. Aaron Large isn't too far behind. Where's Alex Jameson gone? Alex Jameson has hit something. There is definite damage to the front of the South African's car, so the number 3 car is wounded now. I'm pretty sure that wasn't there before. On the bumper cam of Stu Neal, he's sufficiently ahead of Aaron Large that he doesn't need to defend. But Andy Gillone, look at that! He's just dancing off into the distance as he starts his final. Well, he will start his final lap as Roy Grassy on the inside line coming into turn 14. It's going to ball with Roy. And once again, it's 3 Renaults. It's a different 3 Renaults this time. Well, 2 of them are the same. As Roy Grassy has got the run to get into second. David Moll tries to switch back. Jurgen Sturber barely manages to slow that down. A little bit of bumping going on between them. Here's Stu Neal. Can ambition be 1 and 2 again? It would take an absolute disaster to happen to these 3 Renaults, as it wouldn't be the first time. David Moll thinks about an inside line coming in towards turn 4. Can't get it done this time around. But he's right there. Andy Gillone is gone. Absolutely gone. There's Aaron Large right behind them. Oh, Jurgen Sturber coming down towards turn 7 on the outside line from the 33 car. Bit of a nudge between David Moll and Jurgen Sturber. Here comes Stu Neal. Can he do anything about it? Aaron Large could well get interested. Aaron could have done with another lap on this race, I dare say. Oh, David Moll again, but Jurgen Sturber has gone over the grass. Oh no, he had to avoid the line that David Moll was taking. Jurgen Sturber is falling down through the field. There he is now in 7th. David Moll now defending from Stu Neal. Outside line coming into turn 11, but Roy Grassy's bundled in there. Could Aaron Large steal that last podium spot instead? My word. Josh Quincy picks up a track limit penalty in the closing stages of the race. But your winner, 2 for 2 now, is going to be the number 55. Andy Gillone has done it again. Flash of the lights, he's happy about that. David Moll takes 2nd place. He's happy about it too. Stu Neal 3rd. Aaron Large up to 4th. Roy Grassy down into 5th in the closing stages. Alex Jameson, considering the damage he's carrying, and that's not a bad run, to finish in 6th position. Jurgen Sturber 7th. Mark Werrell, what a run to finish in 8th place. Toby Owen finishing in 9th in the end. Colin Dunn 10. Chris Callahan with penalties falling to 11th. And JP McKinley 12th. Brian Rees in 13th place. Matt Webb 14, Josh Quincy. Oh, heart goes out to Josh. Big damage on the number 12. There's Jay Daniels 16th, Nick Bailey in 17th, and it's Kiki Mack bringing home the last place spot for Celtic Bromance. My goodness me. Oh, so there it is, without Sir Stewart's intervention, and surprisingly few penalties compared to the first round. Again, fastest lap of the race going to the Gillone. So there's Andy Gillone 1, David Moll 2, Stu Neal 3rd, Aaron Large 4th, Roy Grassy 5th, Alex Jameson 6th, Jurgen Sturber 7th, Mark Werrell in 8th position. 2 races in the top 10 with a operated on knee as well. Absolutely stunning stuff from Mark Werrell. 9th was Toby Owen, and Colin Dunn rounds out the top 10. Oh my. Who has come to join me to have a chat? Guten Abend, Herr Moll.
Guten Abend, I was waiting for it. Hello. Good to see you.
Wow. I was, like I said to Alex Jameson and Andy Gillone from race 1, if there weren't wonderful battles going on behind you, I'd have been glued to your battle. It was always 3 Renaults. It was not always the same 3 Renaults all race long. Just wow. I mean, talk us through it from your side, David.
Oh, it was crazy. So I had a lucky start, and my teammate certainly had not. And I think from the start, Powell and Roy and me had the same idea: just get away from Andrex. He was on a hunt, and yeah, we worked together until I think it was 13 minutes into the race. I think Roy, you made your first moves in, and then basically all hell broke loose. Everyone was for himself, and Andrex knew that. He was pushing very hard, and he got us in the end. And I think then it just went a bit too chaotic. Some braking spots were missed, and it was a bit collidey. And yeah, but I got certainly some damage, so I was missing some front speed.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was really, really close at the end.
I mean, considering how close you all were, and you weren't giving away massive amount of pace, you would have been slimming each other up, of course. But I mean, you had damage, and you was able to keep that kind of pace up. That's incredible.
Well, it was only in the end, and then I really noticed that there's no way I have enough pace to defend this without some luck, and luckily I had it.
So, wet race for round number 3. What are your thoughts towards that?
I just want to go home. I'm really not good in the wet. I had around 2 minutes of practice in the wet, and I'm not looking forward to it.
Well, we wish you the best of luck all the same. Tolles Rennen, Herr Moll. Dankeschön, mein Freund.
Immer wieder gerne.
Good luck. Good luck for round number 3 and for the rest of the season. Thank you very much, David Moll.
Thank you.
Roy Grassi, good to have you in the box, sir.
Thanks, Chris.
Well, again, much like the conversation we just had with David, you had rather a lot to do. Talk us through it from your side.
I'll tell you what, I've had some great racing with David, actually. Both races, really close, all the way. I think we've done all right, but for whatever reason, I don't know why and where it came from. There was a couple of late breaks, which slightly ruined my race on that second race, but somebody came from nowhere. I don't know. It just came from way behind and took me out the lead twice, actually. But we'll have a look at the replays and see. But great racing. I enjoyed it with David. He's nice to race alongside. And the BMW's caught us in the end, as we probably thought.
Well, that was rather hinted at from race 1. The BMW seemed to have the rule of the roost at Zhuhai, but my word, you gave it everything you had, and I would have loved to have been just glued to your particular battle. Just it's always 3 Renaults going on. Did you just think, yeah, what must I do to break away, or were you sort of really thinking tactically on just stay where we are, we'll figure it out later?
Yeah, we did all right to start with. We were quite quick as a 3, but then we started to slow down. I noticed by about nearly 8 or 9 tenths we dropped off the pace. So I shouted out, we've got to go quicker, and I could see the beamers coming, so I had a draft going down the straight, so I decided to move forward a bit. But it's all good stuff, good racing, enjoyable stuff too, great fun.
And what are your thoughts towards the wet weather conditions?
Oh, it's just going to be mad, absolutely mad. Hopefully it slows the BMWs down. I don't know, are they quick in the wet here? Probably are.
Well, I wasn't when I tried it. When I set up the practice session earlier, I was blitzed by the Renaults, but then I can't keep up with those ambition boys. Good grief, they are something else. I think it's fair to say.
Well, to be fair, the BMW, that was a BMW track. They just draft past you on the straights here. Hopefully there's going to be some better tracks for Renaults later on.
I would imagine so. Yeah. But best of luck for tonight and for the rest of the season. Thank you very much, Roy Grassi.
Brilliant, thanks, Chris.
Andy Gillone has opted not to come and have a chat to me this time, which is absolutely fine. Doesn't have to. He's already chatted to me once tonight. We will get round number 3, or the qualifying for round number 3, back underway as soon as we can. But my word, that was just incredible. The round we've had, and I suspect I have a lot more shouting to do as the evening draws to a close. Don't go anywhere. This one's going to be good. here we go. Qualifying for race number 3. As I think we mentioned already, it is heavy rain. So in the qualifying, it's heavy rain to light rain. So there's a sort of a steadying, improving progression there. And then it's going to be full-on storm for the final race of the night. Although Andy Gillen was saying that the weather's actually, or the puddles are worse in the heavy rain than they are in the storm, which is a bit odd, but that does vary as well. Storm doesn't guarantee a set amount of water to fall. That is part of the kind of whole track evolution and what have you that goes on. There is a bit of a scale on how much water will fall. Storm doesn't mean it will be this. It can be between X number and X number, basically, of litres of water. It can be in the gallons, and it might just be a little bit less than a gallon. You get what I'm meaning. At the moment, that's looking pretty bad. But let's have a look at. It looks like all 21 of our drivers have returned. So there's Ryan Rees, Kiki Mack. There's 2 of our Celtic Bromance bet. There's Matt Webb, who's had a pretty bad run so far tonight, hoping that the wet weather favours him. Josh Quincy, who also hasn't had a good run tonight. JP McKinley. It's such a shame that the Celtic Bromance squad have suffered so badly, considering they had a pretty decent run last time out. Mark Rell, now this was the race that he was least looking forward to. Again, as a reminder, Mark has had an operation on his knee this week, so he's having to use a hand clutch instead of a brake. And the brakes feel very digital anyway, even if I have a working foot. So keeping the brakes from locking up is actually really, really difficult under normal circumstances. Oh, wow, as we hear Andy Gillen's roaring BMW coming down towards the camera, along with Stu Neal following suit. Jameson is out there as well. There he is. Everybody, unsurprisingly, is out there getting some track time, because not many people have practiced the wet weather, interestingly. There's Roy Grassi, who we've just spoken to, along with Herr Moll, full send leader. There is Jameson. Didn't quite see. I think that's Josh Quincy ahead of him. It's rather hard to tell in the spray. The puddles aren't too bad at the moment, but they get very, 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 very bad on the start-finish line in particular. Joe Daniels. Oh, and you can see the puddles are starting to form already on the outside of turn 4. It's really awkward there because you're trying to brake at the point where the puddle is at its worst. Gone and done. For the Track and Beyond crew. Jurka Sturber, who's had a pretty strong run in race number 2. Quentin Chauvetot in an absolute huge pack. That's the last place he wants to be. Brendan Van Heeden. Great race 1, but not so much in race number 2. There's Nick Bailey, side by side with Chris Callahan. There he is, the pink wing mirrored Renault. And finally, Lord our Master, Toby Owen, founder of the VRCC, along with Aaron March, who's got a time on the board. That's Quentin Chauvetot, who disconnected from the last race. Just coming back out of the pits. Andy Gillen now top of the tree with a 48.4. Roy Grassi in second with a 49.3. Look at the spray. Now these times will of course come down as the weather improves, the further into the session we get. There's Josh Quincy, absolutely blindingly fast in our vintage F1 league. Jameson has of course jumped up into the top echelons of the timing. Now he did allude to the fact he's still having some technical trouble, although he didn't allude as to what. He was having terrible trouble last time. Oh, and you couldn't really see the puddle from this camera shot, but you just heard how the engine rooms just completely died coming into turn 4 on Alex Jameson's car there. Roy Grassi in third with a 49.3, the lead Renault at the moment. He's being chased still by David Moll. Mark Werrell up into fourth. He'd love to start there. That's a storming time. He's racing Nick Bailey at the moment. That's an absolutely storming time. Mark well, 49.3. There's 7 thousandths behind Roy Grassi. Josh Quincy and Stu Neal in the pits. There's David Moll. Now, I don't mean to sound disrespectful to Mark's performance at all. I know how fast he is. I alluded to this last week. Oh, now you saw Mark just catch that puddle. Again, on the outside of turn 10. It gets rather nasty there. And you saw how the Renault just skittered around. Whoops, it's one of the Celtic Sprayman's Renaults goes too deep into turn 11, or it looks like it from that camera angle. Now, Mark is a blindingly fast driver and very much earned his spot in the pro lobby. But again, when you're using an unfamiliar braking method, such as a lever instead of a pedal, especially in the wet weather conditions, that's an absolutely cracking effort there. As Gillone has improved on the pole time with a 48.132. Now, the rain will ease up. There, you saw the puddle from that camera angle. This is right on board with Andy Gillone. You'll see where the puddles currently are, but the rain is easing and sunlight is beginning to peek through. So the puddles that are there are going to become less of a problem. There, you just saw that there's one on the outside heading down towards turn 7. That one's not really much of a problem. And of course, Andy Gillone steers with the rear as he points the nose in and absolutely boots it through turn 7. Down towards turn 8. Nothing too much usually here to worry about. You're kind of going uphill here. That apex can get a little bit soggy, but it's on this outside run here. There it is. Now that puddle's not too bad. It's been dissipated a bit and there's not as much rain falling now. That's the puddle that catches people out, and the one that caught, as we were on watching Mark Werrell earlier, that's the one that caught him out at turn 10. Down through the gears, here we are at turn 11. Again, bit of a puddle forming on the inside of that turn. Go through turn 12. Up the hill again towards 13. It's the start finish line that is just strewn with water. Ooh, a bit of a puddle forming just as he turns in to that final turn there. There's 2 puddles that Andy Gillone has to go through to navigate. And there's one. Look at the lake there. As Andy Gillone is doing a bit of a practice start. And you can see actually over the left hand side behind this spurious pit maker, there's someone's just gone through a pair of lakes that form. I'm not quite sure why Andy Gillone. Well, he's doing a practice start. He's pulled over in front of the right side. And there you go. Now that's what I was actually coming on to say. That's what those puddles can do. You saw how violently, I think that. No, it's not Josh Quincy. Oh, who's running that other black BMW? Not Callahan. Right team, wrong car. Quintin. It was Quincy Chauvetot. Now you. Wow, that's very sideways. Now you saw how his cars suddenly pitched over to the right hand side. You're at full racing speed by the time you hit them. So it really does catch you out and can throw you into the wall. 6.5 minutes to go. Gillone leads Jameson, leads Grassi, leads Werrell, leads Quincy. Oh, looks like Josh Quincy's had another argument with something solid. He seems to like trying to shorten his BMW. David Mullins 6th, Stu Neal 7th. Aaron Large in 8th, Jason Powell. He was leading the race for a lot of race number 2. In 9th position, Jurka Sterber in 10th. That's 1.7 seconds from top to bottom, and that's it's a second from first to third, which is obviously quite a big gap. But once again it's the ambition pair up front, and then from third to 13th, you have to get another second. Oh, that's changed again. Brendan Van Heeden has jumped up to third position with a 49.053. 9/10 off the top spot, but very nicely done. Josh Quincy, Toby Owen and Matt Webb in the pits at the moment. This was the kind of pace I was setting. I was in the kind of 151 areas, I think. I'm not even sure. I may have not even set that when I was trying the Renaults earlier. No, I was in the 52s, so wasn't really able to kind of match these guys' pace. I'm more proficient in the BMW than I am in the Renault, but even still, there's no way I was keeping up with the pace of these guys. Oh, wow. Again, as you saw, Andy Gillane just sliding through that final turn. He just met with lakes. There's some more. Look. You can't see from that off-board angle that they will start to dry up a bit, but you start to see what he means by they are worse in this session, mainly because the rain's been falling for a while, than they are when we switch to the stormy conditions. Now the tides will continue to fall. Oh, not if the cars are doing that. You see Andy Gillane's car just dancing as it comes through turn 3. Right, Grassy up to 4th with the 49.2. I beg your pardon, he's been in 4th for a little while. He's coming over the line. Does he improve? I think that's Quentin Chauvetot just coming out of the pit lane. No improvement there. Mark Werrell right behind him on track. And you see that the car is just, even the Renaults, the front wheel drive Renaults are dancing around as they hit the water. And again, that's Stu Neal right behind him. Just the car is being chucked around everywhere. Now either they're trying to find a thinner part of the water, or, as I suspect, they're actually being thrown in that direction from the water itself. Aaron Lance chasing Nick Bailey down the road. That's heading down through turn 13. You see two very different ways of taking this corner. Fairly fairly settled and sideways. The BMW really only knows one way to do it. Nick Bailey has a very cautious run through that last turn. Gets out of the way as Aaron Large. Wow. Just the BMW being thrown around like a ragdoll. Remains in 9th place. Nick Bailey not holding him up any further. 3 minutes left on the clock. Here comes Andy Gillane. Does he improve as Alex Jameson starts to leave the pits again for one final run? No improvement from Andy Gillane. Not that he needs it. Now he's just having fun now, look. Now comes Jameson for one final attempt to claim the top spot. There goes Toby Owen through the shop. 15th position with a 150.3. Brendan Van Heeden back in the pits. If he's quick, he can get back out there and do another run. Roy Grassi in 4th. Oops, that's Quintin, I think. That's got that one wrong. No improvement from Roy Grassi. Yeah, it was indeed Quintin. Quintin Chauvetot, they got that final turn wrong, which is very easily done in the BMW. Mark has not yet found an improvement from that already amazing 149.3. And that's 16 thousandths ahead of Josh Quincy. Himself is just heading down to the line. Does Josh improve? Not this time. A one grid penalty for Jason Powell. You tend to only get that if you've sped in the pit lane. It says track limits though, so that's a bit of a strange one. Jason Powell is not having a good night. Jörg Sturber is back in the pits. He can do no more than 49.925. And then just 29, over that, 19 thousandths behind him. It's Kiki Mack. That's a bit more like it. A solid 12th position there. Ryan Rees up into 13th place, a bit more where we used to see him. He's trying to chuck it in sideways. The Renault's having none of that. I suspect that Ryan hasn't. Oh, as he's glanced off the wall and slammed into the pit wall. I suspect he hasn't put a lot of practice into the wet conditions either, which even says means his time is actually not too bad at all. Gillane continuing on his merry way, still giving it all the sideways. It's not often we actually see Jameson either, actually, or Andy Gillane. We don't tend to see them any direction but sideways. There's Chris Callahan. He's coming down towards turn 4. 150.156. He's in 14th place. Toby Owen is turn 7. Trying to get any kind of traction. He's been chased by Alex Jameson. There is Andy Gillane. Checker flag is out. very sideways. Of course, he is out of turn 10. But doing the business nice and properly. And Josh Quincy, Mark Werrell have returned to the pits along with Stu Neal. Most people in the pits now. So the improving weather really didn't make any significant difference to the time set. The puddles were in position really, and you were never going to get around them. As Gillow very cautious through that final turn, is not going to improve in his time as Jurka Sturber channels his and of course Andy Gillone gives us a bit of style points over the line. Aaron is done along with Nick Bailey. Jurka Sturber is over the line as he was utilising his rallying skills, his rallycross skills. As oh dear, McKinley has lost an argument with the wall. Nick Bailey is done. Quinton Shobito is done, and Colin Dunn is going to come over the line. He will start from the tail end, I'm assuming. Didn't actually see an improvement there. Right then, so for the final race of the night, it's once again it's Ambition on the front row. This time it's Gillone ahead of Alex Jameson. Brendan Van Heeden, what a stormer there in third. Roy Grassi fourth. Mark Werrell, salute you sir, in fifth place. Josh Quincy sixth. David Miles seventh. Stu Neal in eighth. Aaron Lars 9. Jason Powell in 10th position. And then Jurka Sturber in 11th. That's what Storm looks like. So it's going to be fun to commentate through this. Jason Powell in 11th. Oh, yes, of course, Jason Powell had that penalty. So Jurka Sturber starts in 10th. Powell and Kiki Mack take on row 6, so 11th, 12th. Ryan Reese and Chris Canahan, 13, 14. Toby Owen in 15th. JP McKinley, 16th. Jay Daniels, 17th. Nick Bailey, 18th. Matt Webb, 19th. Quinton Shobito in 20th. And Colin Dunn at the tail of the field in 21st. Oh, my goodness me. That's what it looks like from the driver's perspective. You can't really see if the puddles are formed to any great degree already, or you can see they're forming. So, by the time, and there's a lot of wheels that are trying to disperse the water, so they may not form, the puddles may not form to the same degree they did in qualifying. So let's see what Andy Gillone is saying there. We will see though. Here we go, the final race of the night. Round number 2 here at Zhuhai will conclude in the rain. It is time to wind them up and let them go. Who is going to be bravest on the brakes? And that's, wow, it's a lot of Renaults getting decent starts this time. Oh no, is that Mark Werrell that's been tilted over? It is, Mark Werrell's had a problem. No, my goodness me. From starting so far up the field, and Mark Werrell's been tilted over. Oh no, what a tragedy there. But Gillone leads Jameson, Van Heeden third, Stu Neal in fourth, Roy Grassi in fifth position. Oh no, Mark Werrell has not gone anywhere. Some kind of technical trouble. It seems to be the third race of the night that Mark Werrell always seems to have a trouble on. We've lost one from the race already. It could well be because of that incident. But Jameson's leading. Beg pardon, Jameson is under pressure from Brendan Van Heeden. And right behind Brendan, Roy Grassi, Stu Neal, David Moll, Josh Quincy. There is Jason Powell trying to get the work. Does get past Aaron Larch, who Jurka Sturber also gets past Aaron on the way through turns 7 and 8. Right behind, goodness me, there's Callahan, Daniels, and also that is Kiki Mack into 12th position. Quincy Shobito trying to make a move on Jay Daniels, doesn't quite work either. There's Toby Owen. Is there damage to the front of Toby's car? Yes, there is. Colin Dunn, 18. Oh, not again. JP McKinley. And Mal Mark has gotten underway again, but trouble still befalling him. That could be the end of Mark Werrell's race. What a shame. What a great shame. But Andy Gillone comes over the line to lead the Ambition 1-2. But Brendan Van Heeden is right there to try and challenge his compatriot. Down towards turn 1. Once again, that's probably the biggest gap we've seen against between the Ambition pair all night. If we ride on board, the lakes are forming already. We'll ride on board with Andy Gillen. I know you wouldn't normally ride on board with the leader, but just look at the puddles forming. There's one that doesn't normally form at the outside line of turn 3. There's that outside one heading into 4, which is always there. Oh, Jameson! Whilst we were doing that, Janice Jameson's had trouble down to 7th now. My oh my! Did he? I suspect he got caught out by the puddle on the outside of turn 4. Well, that gives Andy Gillen free rein to kind of dance off into the distance. Again, you can just see how quickly those puddles are formed. So we should be seeing one. There it is on the outside of turn 10 as well. Andy Gillen having to be much, much more cautious as Mark Werrell brings his car into the pits. So Brendan Van Heeden, second place. Roy Grassi with a whole pack behind him of Mull, Neil, Quincy, Jameson, and Jason Powell in the back of that pack. That's what it looks like from Jason's car. And Alex Jameson gets a whole bundle of water to try and swim through, trying to deal with Josh Quincy. Where he wanted to put the power down, he was met with a lake. Oh, it's a little... He might get away with that one. The car gets a bit squiggly coming through turn 14, but Jameson does manage to keep that one on the straight and narrow. On board with David Moll. Once again, it's Moll and Grassi having an argument, this time for third place. Oh, David Moll, there's no room there. I wonder whether that was kind of impact avoidance. There's Stu Neal trying to capitalise on that. Brendan Van Heeden trying to... Well, he's matching Andy Gillen almost to... Well, 100th between them last time around. Front wheel drive versus rear wheel drive. BMW versus Renault. This track has favoured the BMWs all night, so that's a good effort there from Brendan Van Heeden. Powell continuing on his way. On the back of Jameson, who's on the back of Quincy. Jason Powell goes, well, whether he was meaning to go for the move or whether Jameson was being a bit more cautious going down into turn 7, I don't know. But Jason Powell trying to do something about that position. And Jameson now switches to the inside line. Stu Neal on the inside of David Moll coming up into turn 9. Door banging a little bit, but nothing too bad. David Moll's going to be forced into the water. And Stu Neal navigates his way into 4th, but he's very quickly as he's collected David Moll again. On the exit of turn 10, that's allowed Roy Grassi to get a bit of breathing space. Down towards turn 11 again. Stu Neal on the inside. And reclaims 4th position from David Moll. Josh Quincy is right there ready to do something about it as well. There is on board from the BMW alongside David Moll now. Heading up towards through turn 13, the BMW is going to be ahead of the Renault coming into the final turn, and does look like Jameson's wanted to do something about it as well. Slipstream on slipstream on slipstream there, as Jameson goes all the way to the outside line. I think he's trying to avoid water more than anything else. You can see David Moll lost a bit of momentum because of it, and Jameson's going to bounce on that one into turn 1. Can he slow that one down? Yes, he can. David Moll remains in 6th position. There is Jason Powell wanted to do something about it. Goodness me, yet again. A wonderful scrap going on. Gillen leads Van Heeden by about 1.5 seconds. Another 2 seconds back is Roy Grassi. They're kind of off and into the distance, really. But a wonderful scrap here for 4th place. Stu Neal all over the place trying to keep that one to himself. Side by side with Josh Quincy. Quincy now takes over the 4th. David Moll on the outside of Stu Neal heading down to wall. Jason Powell is really quickly under the brakes and he's spun. And he's taken Stu Neal with him. Oh no, Jason Powell. And that's Kiki Mack. Up into 7th place now. That's the next battle down the road. Kiki Mack, Aaron Large and Jurka Sturber. That's on for Kiki Mack's best result of the night by a very long way. Quintin Chauvetot with Chris Canahan. There's Stu Neal that's rejoined the track along with Jason Powell. Right behind them is Nick Bailey, along with the returning Mark Werrell. Got a lap down at this stage. Matt Webb. Toby Owen not having a good run this time. There's JP McKinley right behind him. And Jay Daniels is having a torrid time in these conditions. Oh, it's Jameson on the outside of David Moll coming down towards the turn 13. And David Moll didn't challenge that one too much, but he's cut straight back underneath the BMW. Forced Jameson to go too deep, and it's cut straight back underneath the South African. Very nicely done. There you can see second and third just going through the bottom of the shot. Van Heeden and Roy Grassi. Jameson tries to get the underneath David Moll. It doesn't quite happen this time. Lots of sideways with the BMW, which is the only way he's ever driven. That's the battle. Jurka Sterber is in. Aaron Large on the inside line coming through turns 1 and 2. Aaron Large has got ahead of Kiki Mack. Or has he? He's been a little bit cautious coming into turn 3. Jurka Sterber gave a bit of a nudge there on the BMW. And again, going through turn 4, but no changes of position here. No one spun off. Side by side, down through 5, and now into 6. Aaron Large on the inside. Jurka had to get out of that one. Oh, but he's getting squiggly, same as Jason Powell was right behind them. Stu Neal and Quintus Chauvetot. Chris Callahan very sideways. Jason Powell getting involved in that battle as well. My word. That's Alex Jameson now up in the 5th place, ahead of David Moll. Oh, but Jameson catches the water on the apex of turn 10. And again, the double champion has been caught out, and that's a lot of damage for the BMW. That's Kiki Mack that's gone through. I don't know whether Jameson's going to be able to continue without much damage. That car did not want to. It didn't want to look like it stayed straight, and in the wet conditions, that must be horrible to drive. That's the view from Jurka Sterber. Well, Jameson's still giving it a good go, though. He's just reclaimed that 6th position rather, from Kiki Mack. But I suspect he's going to have a very rough time. Obviously, he's not pitting the big chain of cars behind Quintus Chauvetot. That's Aaron Large getting ahead of Kiki Mack coming down into turn 1. Jurka Sterber looking to do the same thing on the Celtic Romance Renault. Can't quite get it done though, but they're side by side down through turn 3. Nope, and Kiki Mack hangs on to that one. But that has allowed, there is Quintus Chauvetot. He's caught that pack of 4, and he's dragged the pack behind him along for the ride. Ends with Nick Bailey. Well, technically ends with Mark Werrell, but Mark Werrell's not on the same lap as already mentioned. My goodness me. The top 5 are pretty much, well, David Moll has run off from this chasing pack now. The top 5 are fairly spread apart. Oh, look out, here comes Jason Powell. Trying to make a move on Chris Callahan, coming down to turn 9. Can't get it done though. Still keeps pressing on. And Jason Powell, he's going to get alongside the pink accented Chris Callahan. Look at all the dodging and diving going on, heading down towards turn 11. Aaron Miles trying to get any traction he can to try and get past Alex Jameson. Jurka Sterber doing what he can to maintain his position in the pack. There's Kiki Mack in 9th place. Through the final turn. Gently does it. Oh, well, Jameson's gone wide. He's going to lose some momentum as a result. Here we go, 3 wide. And Jameson, that's the effect of the puddles along with the damaged car. We're getting several wide coming down into the first turn. Jurka Sterber is the one that's gained the most. He's managed to creep past all of them up into 6th place. What a move from Jurka. That was opportunistic, but he's got Aaron Large all over his case. And there goes Jameson. Very, very wide off of turn 3. And there's no doubt the damage on his car is making that so difficult to follow. What a move there from Quintus Chauvetot. Can't quite complete the move. It was a big opportunistic dive on the inside of Kiki Mack. The Celtic Progress running managed to defend that one off just about. Oh, Shobito! That was a big move on the inside of Kiki Mack. Can he get that one done? And living up to the team name at full send. Jameson is trying to reclaim that position from Aaron Large, heading up towards turn 9. Oh, it's getting very, very close. And does so. Jameson back up into 7th place. And Roy Grassi looks like he's gaining to the back, slowly but surely, of Brendan Van Heeden, and David Mole to the back of Josh Quincy. So we may have some fighting to sort out in the top 5, but once again, lots and lots and lots and lots of fighting back here from 6th down to 13th, and that's Kiki Mack on the inside of Quincy Chobito going through turn 11 and 12. The BMW getting much better drive. Jason Powell along for the ride, right behind him, Stu Neal, Chris Callahan. Quincy Chobito gets up in the 9th, but he's got a very compromised line coming through that last turn. And Kiki Mack says, thank you, I'll have that. Oh, Stu Neal, you won't get away with that, and indeed he doesn't. He hits the wall. Huge damage. Oh, wow, you saw Jason Powell get a bit of a punch in the face there from Quincy Chobito, but that was by no means intentional. That's just how the water chucks you around as the Kiki Mack off. It's gone too deep, as has Jason Powell into turn 1, and that's going to descend through the field. What a shame Kiki Mack was all the way up in 7th place. Oh, what a huge shame. But Roy Grassi has caught the back of Brendan Van Heeden. With less than a minute and a half to go, the race has once again flown by. Andy Gillow just having a time of his life out there. Some people are just wanting the time to tick down. Here comes Aaron Large on the inside of Jürgen Sturber. Alex Jameson has actually got back up into that 6th position now. This pack has broken over a bit. Jason Powell now leads the 2nd of these trains, with Chris Callahan right behind him, Kiki Mack in 11th, Quincy Chobito in 12th, Stu Neal in 13th. There's Colin Dunn at the back of that particular train. Oh, Jürgen Sturber on the inside line going past Aaron Large into turn 10. Gets the move done, nicely driven from both of them. Where is Andy Gillow? He will beat the flag, so one more lap to go. Roy Grassi's following the line that Brendan Van Heeden is carving through the water. Could well challenge for that 2nd place spot before the day is done. And David Moll is not close enough really to Josh Quincy to challenge for 4th. Not just yet, at least. That's the view from Jürgen Sturber on the back of Aaron Large. It looks like Alex James has actually broken away from them to try and secure 6th place. Oh, Brendan Van Heeden, and that's a battle for 2nd. Roy Grassi, Brendan Van Heeden. So Roy Grassi's muscled his way past the South African for 3rd place. I cut away very, very suddenly there from Jürgen Sturber and Aaron Large having their argument for 7th place. I noticed that the nameplates were changing for 2nd. And Brendan has indeed lost that one to Roy Grassi. We're in the middle of the lap now, that's turn 9. Does Brendan have anything left to be able to challenge Roy? David Moll has done what he can to try and close in on Josh Quincy. But may well have to settle for that 5th position. Jürgen Sturber still behind Aaron Large, who indeed is behind Alex Jameson. Powell ahead of Callahan. Dunn behind Stu Neal and Quincy Chobito. Well, I thought Brendan was on the grass then, but he's continuing on his merry way. Well, once again, Andy Gillone, I don't know how many times he's done this in the history of the VTCC, but he's done the triple. He's won all 3 races. Your winner, once again, is Andy Gillone for Ambition Racing. 2nd, Roy Grassi, 2 podiums. Oh no, that's David Moll. That's David Moll that's spun. Oh, a track rejoin there. That's a little cheeky, but manages to get going again. But allows Josh Quincy an unparalleled run into 4th. But David Moll in the last corner of the last lap for 5th place. Alex Jameson, oh, or might have been for him. In 6th place, Aaron Large fends off Yerkesterber for 7th place. Jason Powell comes over the line in 9th. Chris Callahan in 10th. Colin Dunn in 11th place. And JP McKinley to his best result of the night, as someone's already disconnected. Nick Bailey into someone actually in the top 10 that's disconnected. So that's given Toby Owen 13, Kiki Mack 14, Quinton Chobito in 15, Stu Neal 16, Matt Webb 17, and Mark Werrell has crossed the line a few laps down. So before any steward's intervention, no penalties were applied this time. And the only man in the 48s, once again, Andy Gillone, showing why he is a constant front runner. Roy Grassi, 2 podiums of the night for him in 2nd place for AJR Motorsport. And Brendan Van Heeden in 3rd place. Josh Quincy 4, David Moll 5th, Aaron Large in 6th, Yerkesterber 7, Jason Powell 8, Chris Callahan 9, and Colin Dunn rounding out the top 10. Wow. That was unbelievable. Absolutely half breath now. That's some incredible racing we have had from all 3 races. And joining me in the box is the man that has done the triple again. It is the one and only, the beautiful Scotsman. It's Andy Gillone.
Hello. Well, that's still kind of unexpected, to be fair. I came in tonight thinking triple podium. I'll be happy with a triple podium.
Well, you've achieved it.
Mission accomplished.
Very much so.
Wow. Yeah. Well, that was a good qualifying session to give me the best possible chance. So Alex obviously had issues. I'm not sure what happened to him, to be fair, but we just kind of pulled away, thankfully, because it was very slippery out there, and I think at the end of the race with the puddles, the Reddles were certainly keeping pace. I just managed to get enough of a gap at the start to keep it kind of semi-comfortable, but it's still kind of scary out there, to be fair. Those puddles are ninjas. I couldn't see some of them until you're on top of them, so you gotta adapt to the track because the puddles change lap by lap, so it keeps you on your toes.
Well, certainly. And I made the comment a few times that every time we looked at primarily the Ambition BMWs, they were very rarely not anything less than about 10 to 12 degrees.
Well, whether we wanted to or not, that tends to be that's BMW dictating that. I think rear-wheel drive / right-wheel drive that's sideways is fastways. So it worked for us tonight. We've got a decent haul of points for Ambition, which is always the main priority. So but I'm going to remember that race 1 for a long time, because that was just absolutely epic. And then to get a triple, I've never even dreamt that would be on the cars, because Alex generally just that little bit quicker. So he had issues tonight. So you just got to take advantage of them really when you can. So hopefully he'll be at the front next week, I'm sure. So you've got to maximise any chance you have to grab as many points as you can to get the lead.
Well, next week is a break week, so he can be in the front what he likes next week. So it's Imola next time out. What are your thoughts towards the Italian Classic?
There's some decent flat-out straights, which obviously the BMW likes, but there is some fast corners as well, which the BMW doesn't like. So I don't think it's certainly going to be anywhere near dominant. I think it's probably going to be fairly close, but it could be interesting, because I think the lap times, although they're probably going to be quite close at the end, they're going to get their advantages at different parts of the track. So the Renaults are going to be quicker at some part, and the BMWs are going to be quicker at different parts. So I think it's going to be an interesting one to watch for sure, and driving, definitely.
Wonderful. We look forward to that. Best of luck for that one, and for the rest of the season. Thank you very much, Andy Gillone.
Thank you.
Brendan!
How's it, Chris? How you doing?
Always happy to chat to you, sir. So, I mean, it looked like a very comfortable second, but then suddenly a random Grassy appeared.
Yeah, I made a small mistake on the last lap. I was busy watching Grossi and missed my braking marker going to turn 1. I thought there wasn't any way I was going to stop him, so I just let him go through and see if I could try to attack at the last couple corners, but he was just as quick, so I'm happy with the third. That's fine.
So, had you put much time into the wet weather conditions? A lot of people hadn't.
Both Scott and Hendricks actually went online last night, and with the same exact outcome. He left me by 4 or 5 seconds. But I was expecting this to happen. The BMWs are just too quick at this track. We weren't going to get anywhere near them today.
So it's Imola in 2 weeks' time. It's a break week next week. What are your thoughts towards Imola?
Scary thoughts. BMWs are fast there again. They've got the world record there. So it's going to be all out attack. And see what we can do. That's all we can hope for.
Indeed. Best of luck for the remainder of the season. Thank you very much, Brendan.
Thank you, Chris. Cheers, Chris.
It is my honour and pleasure to introduce the one final name into the commentary box tonight. It is the one and only Mark Werrell. Thank you for joining me, Mark.
Absolute pleasure, Chris. Thank you very much. What a thoroughly enjoyable evening. Bar the last race, maybe.
What happened at the start, sir?
We readied up, and because I'm not running a clutch anymore now because of my issues this evening, I was revving up and there were no revs. And I was about to start to go into game chat and say, I've got no revs, guys. And at that, the lights went out. So I sat there with no revs, and that was it. It was as though I'd stalled on the grid. I'd not stalled, so I had to turn off my my steering wheel, turn it back on, and all of a sudden the revs came back again. So I was damaged. I damaged several cars. I apologise for that. There was nothing I could do. And that put pay to the race again. So I really love the wet. It was wet last week at Snetterton. I had a disconnect issue in the wet race. Qualified 5th. Fantastic qualifying this evening in the wet. And that happened again. So lesson learned. I maybe should have shouted out, as Toby suggested, maybe should have shouted out earlier. I've got no revs. So I compromised other people's races, which I apologise for.
I mean, race 3 seems to be your Achilles heel for some odd reason. It always is with the third race where it all goes wrong. And I mentioned on stream a few times. Obviously, you've had the NEOP, so you're using an unfamiliar braking mechanism, and
very much so. Yeah.
And in the wet, I was ecstatic to see up in at 4th for a long period of time as well. Yeah. You must have been really looking forward to this race as well.
I was very surprised, put it that way. Dry is fine. Yeah, NEOP this week means I can't use my left foot to brake, and with the way my pedals are set up, it's too far a reach to move from the right foot acceleration to the right foot to brake. So rather than mess around changing all of my Fanatic pedals and shifting everything over, it seemed easier to use the hand clutch on my steering wheel as the braking system, and I only tested that today. Toby asked me earlier on, was I even going to race this evening? Didn't know until, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock? I don't know. First time I turned a few laps just to see whether my brain would do it, and it works all right. In the dry, it's fine, but in the wet, it kept locking, and that was a difficult thing. So yeah, it's been a really steep learning curve these last couple of weeks, but I've thoroughly enjoyed the championship. Thanks to you guys for the commentary. Thanks to Toby for organising it. And I've got to say thanks to all the rest of the drivers. A little bit of rubbing tonight. A couple of things that I'm sure will get looked back on replays. Some of which may well be my fault. If they are, apologise, hands up. Others of which I suspect not my fault. But what a fantastic championship, Chris.
You are not wrong there, Mark. It's been incredible from the way off, even from season 1, but it's just gotten better and better as the momentum has gained. Now, you have a very busy real-life commentary schedule. Will we be seeing you trackside again for the remainder of the season?
I'm at Donington Park commentating on a live stream next weekend, so I should be back in time for Sunday evening. It's a bit tight.
Next week's a break week, so fear not.
All right. Oh, we're okay. Week after that, let me have a look. This is all live, guys. By the way, let me have a look at my diary. Week after that is a weekend off. Things have, because of the continually changing calendars because of COVID-19. UK motorsport commentary calendars have shifted around everywhere. So that's a weekend off. The weekend after, I'm only commentating on the Saturday because of calendar changes. So I'm all right for the next couple of weekends, with things that have changed. So I might even be able to brake using my left foot come next week. Who knows?
Steady on. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. So next week, as mentioned, is a break week. So you have that rest from the VTCC, if not from anything else, from your ever busy schedule. Round 3, which is on the 18th of April, is Imola. So what are your thoughts towards the Italian Classic?
I love Imola as a circuit. There's a couple of sections of it that I really know that I always lose time at. So again, in this game, it's understanding, a bit like with the circuit this evening, it's understanding how far you can push those circuit limits. And at Imola, for me, that's the key. It's such a fast circuit. You really need to understand as to where you can just let the car run that little bit wider and not get a time penalty or get a slowdown penalty. And it's the S's, that kink at the back, for me, that's the key area. So looking forward to it. Love Imola, fantastic circuit, and can't wait to be there. So thank you very much.
It's been a great pleasure. Thank you very much for joining me in the box, Mr. Werrell. Good luck. We'll rest well, and we hope your recovery goes very, very well. And of course, you need no luck. Wish to you in your real life commentary. I hope to live up to, as a reminder to the stream, it is this man that is responsible for getting me into the real life commentary box at the beginning of May, which will be at my local circuit in Thruxton. So I'm always very grateful for that opportunity, Mark. But as far as the VTCC is concerned, we see you in 2 weeks' time. Best of luck for the remainder of the season. Thank you very much, Mark Werrell.
Thanks a lot. Cheers, guys.
And that is going to bring an end to tonight's festivities. Thank you very much to those that have been with us throughout the stream. A great pleasure to have you on board. As mentioned, next week is a break week, so rest well. We will be back in 2 weeks' time for the mighty Imola. It's highly unlikely to rain. I don't know if the Italians know what rain is, quite frankly, but it's likely to be a dry race. So, Mark touched on one of the biggest challenges that Imola has is track limits. It is very, very tricky there, but I very much look forward to it, and we hope that you guys spectating will join us for that one. Until then, thank you very much, and good night.